Max Verstappen capitalised on Charles Leclerc's costly engine failure to win a dramatic Spanish Grand Prix and take the lead of the championship. In a hell-to-skelter Barcelona race packed with incidents from start to finish, Leclerc had a comfortable advantage out in front before the pole sitter suffered a race-ending Ferrari issue on lap 27. No power, cried Leclerc on the team radio before being called into the pits. So Verstappen still had a lot of work to do for now, having dropped down the order following an uncharacteristic early spin before frustrations over DRS problems and battles with George Russell, but he overcame the challenges to eventually go on a characteristic charge after 3 pit stops. He finished ahead of Sergio Perez in another Red Bull 1-2, although the Mexican was disgruntled over the team's strategy. We'll speak later. Perez told his team afterwards he was unhappy that Verstappen had been put on an eventually preferable strategy, while he was also told not to hold him up when leading in the closing stages. The gripping Spanish Grand Prix also included an impressive podium for Russell in the Mercedes, while teammate Lewis Hamilton produced an epic recovery drive to fifth, followed a collision and punch on that one. He ran fourth before being overtaken by Flores Carlos Sainz. Mercedes had reliability concerns over both cars in the closing stages, but the team will be heartened by a much improved weekend. Verstappen meanwhile had his first title lead of the season, while his 19-point deficit over Leclerc suddenly a 6-point advantage. On a potentially pivotal day in the championship race, Red Bull have taken maximum points from the weekend and have also leapfrogged Ferrari in the team standings. The Spanish Grand Prix hasn't always been a classic in terms of excitement and a great race, but well and truly delivered in round 6 of the 2022 season. The drama started on the first lap. Leclerc held a lead from Verstappen at the front, but a few corners later, contact further back with Hamilton inadvertently tagging Kevin Magnussen. After bumping wheels, the Haas was sent off into the gravel before rejoining, while Hamilton suffered a puncture and was forced into an early pit stop. He knew what he was doing, feud Magnussen, though the steward said no investigation was necessary. Hamilton was downbeat on the team radio and even suggested retiring from the race before Mercedes rightly reminded him of the opportunities ahead. Elsewhere at the start, Carlos Sainz went into Andy Stoll and got away poorly, dropping from 3rd to 5th at his home race. The agony continued a few laps later as and into the gravel he went with an unforced error, dropping to 11th at turn 4. He wasn't the only driver to make the same mistake, with Verstappen soon after going off at the same corner in a near copycat spin. It appeared a more pivotal error at the time too, as he went from challenging Leclerc from 2nd to dropping behind Russell and Perez in 4th. Verstappen got past Perez in a hugely frustrating period for the reigning world champion. He had more pace than Russell in the Mercedes, although he suffered with intermittent DRS issues in his Red Bull, which also played him to qualifying. Though his team attempted to fix pre-race, Verstappen would have DRS flick up for some laps and not for others. On one lap he did get DRS, a straight line speed aid. He appeared to get past Russell, but before the Briton, amid a brilliant drive, forced his way back through. This only increased the fury for Verstappen in the cockpit, but he was then given the ultimate lift with his title role of Leclerc losing power on lap 27. Ferrari gets to diagnose the issue, only calling it power unit related. Russell was certainly the leader of the race, and Verstappen promptly putting himself on a free-stop strategy and giving Perez a chance to attack the Mercedes, which he did successfully to pass with little worries. Perez had decent pace out front, but it was clear Verstappen was much faster behind. As he showed on fresh tyres later in the race, Red Bull had a decision to make, not wanting their 2 drivers to risk running a 1-2. They told Perez to move aside, which he sportingly did, but he was not happy afterwards. Verstappen, however, continues his 2022 momentum with 3 wins on the trot. Hamilton had been towards the back for much of the race, but when in clear air in the second half showed impressive speed and found himself up in 6th after his 3rd and final pit stop. He passed Esteban Ocon and then Sainz in their Ferrari, a telltale sign that Mercedes is now a 2022 contender, with his race ending on a slightly sour note, with Mercedes detecting water leaks on the engine and asked drivers to slow, letting Sainz get back ahead. It was a fine drive from the 7-time world champion, and one that his team insisted would have been good enough to win without his contact. There was fine drives elsewhere for Valtteri Bottas, while Lando Norris deserves praise given how well he was in Barcelona. And the 2022 season continues next weekend with a duel in F1's crown at the Monaco Grand Prix. And yeah, may not be the best race ever, but who knows, we saw a brilliant Spanish Grand Prix today. But before I go, let me run you through the results. And Verstappen winning in first place. Yeah, good drive from him today. It wasn't his best drive, but he got the win done with that mistake. So yeah, it wasn't a perfect turn. But Perez in 2nd, frustrating, yeah, but for me I think Verstappen would have won nevertheless. And then Russell in 3rd, great drive from him, all the defending, but yeah, interesting to see where he would have been if Hamilton hadn't had contact, because it definitely did see Hamilton was the fastest driver. So Hamilton, yeah, you have to give him credit. He's had doubters recently, but that was just a brilliant performance. And then you've got Sainz in 4th. I'm not a great day for Sainz, to be honest. Miles off the pace of the other 2, especially where Leclerc was before he retired. Bottas in 6th. I think Alfa Romeo went slightly the wrong way on strategy. Frustrating for him, but still picking up great points. Ocon in 7th and Norris in 8th, especially Norris. Tonsillitis he had, so that's an incredible performance with his illness. And hopefully he's better for Monaco. Really good performance. Now, Ocon in 7th. Alpine have had no pace with Alonso in 9th, so I think they'll be relatively happy with that. Tsunoda in 10th as well. yeah, he'll be pleased with that because AlphaTauri have been lacking pace too. 7 11th, and Ricciardo in 12th. Obviously, Vettel will be disappointed to just miss out on points, but maybe it'll take a while for that green Red Bull to adapt. And then you've got Ricciardo in 12th. When Norris had such bad illness, Norris was in front of him. To be honest, you would have expected a bit more from Ricciardo here. And Gasly as well, another really poor performance from him today, you'd have to say. Had a chance of, never really got close to Tsunoda. And Schumacher in 14th, he had a chance of getting into the points, but Haas just seemed to get the strategy wrong, and those points really need to come soon. And then you got Stroll in 15th, a bit of a way off his teammates, so disappointing. Latifi in 16th, fair play to him. I think he'll be really happy with that. Definitely outperformed Albon. Don't really know what happened to Albon, but he didn't have the best day. Magnussen in 17th, obviously with his contact. For me, I would say that's slightly more Magnussen's fault. Probably a racing incident, but maybe more Magnussen's fault. But yeah, it just wasn't his day today, which is a bit of a shame. And then you got Joe retiring. Another failure for him. That's really bad luck for him. And then Leclerc, obviously, yes, you do wonder how crucial that could be, because that's just a massive blow for him. But anyway, guys, that's it really. Thanks very much for watching. To like, share, subscribe, don't forget to comment down below, follow us in the description if you do F1 news, and subscribe to my channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.